Welcome back to the Two Man Advantage podcast. We now move to our Detroit Lions training camp, part 2. We hit on our podcast last week about the Detroit Lions, and now we've had a chance to go to training camp to take a look at what the team has.
I want to go to the wide receivers now. Tate seemed to be pretty crisp. He was making catches, everything that was pretty much thrown towards his way. Brandon Pettigrew made a couple catches. He didn't seem to be involved as much as I thought he was going to be in the offense. Eric Ebron, on the other hand, maybe just because it was his first day of training camp, 1,500 people there, but he had some issues with Butterfingers the whole entire day. He dropped multiple passes. And so let me give you an example. So they'd run back-to-back plays, right? They would have Ebron, and then they would have Fourier run the play after him. So Ebron would fumble and bumble this pass that was thrown to him, and then Fourier would come in and he would nail that catch, and he would take off down the field and try to push some cornerbacks off him and safeties off him. So if you think about it, that is the difference between a rookie and a guy that's been in the league for a couple of years now. Just being confident,
experience,
exactly. Yeah. And you'd be surprised how much it really, now that you get to see it firsthand and live during practice, that these guys do go through some growing pains, even though he's very talented.
Well, you also have to keep in mind that it was the first day of training camp, though, so mental errors were going to be on display a little bit. My thought on the wide receivers is this. After Golden Tate and, of course, Kelvin Johnson, the Lions are looking for that third wide receiver. Is Chris Durham going to be consistent this year? Can Ryan Broyles come back?
He was very much involved in the wide receivers in the offense when I was there.
From the
Ryan Broyles.
Yeah,
he's seen a lot of balls.
He'll probably predominantly play in the slot. And what do they get out of T.J. Jones and what other?
He was not suited up. He was in shorts and T-shirt.
So it'll be interesting to watch who wins that third receiver battle for the Lions and how many receivers versus tight ends they keep. Will Joseph Fourier's role be expanded? How much does Brandon Pettigrew play in the offense? And, of course, what do they get out of the rookie Ebron? So the Lions have a lot of parts on offense. They just have to, first of all, they have to learn the system under Joe Lombardi, and then they have to mesh as a unit. And, as you know, offenses tend to take a little bit longer than defenses to learn the system. So hopefully they can get the bugs out before the Monday night game against the Giants the first week of September.
Okay, so a couple more points I want to hit on. Matthew Stafford did not seem to be crisp. He was throwing balls behind receivers. He wasn't hitting them in stride, so he had Calvin going on a streak and was throwing it behind. He had to turn around and go behind him. Tate multiple times going across the middle, had to turn around and catch the ball behind him. That was just one reoccurring thing that I continued to see from Matthew Stafford. Is that an issue? Should we pay attention to something like that, or is it just like you said with Ebron? Is this just the first day of camp and it's no big deal? But we've seen this from Stafford before.
Well, we've seen it before. It is also
old habits die hard, man.
Well, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but they are learning a new offense. It'll take a long time for them to assimilate the new offense. There's a lot of moving parts to Joe Lombardi's offense, a whole lot of motions and shifting and getting lined up correctly and all that kind of stuff. But in terms of Stafford himself, the whole reason the new coaching staff is here is because of him, or predominantly because of him, and getting him fixed and getting rid of the 22 interceptions he threw during the last half of the season, which caused the Lions to falter down the stretch. They were, of course, leading of 6 of 7 games down the stretch. And it was because of Matthew Stafford and his lackluster performances down the stretch, particularly in the fourth quarter. I'm reminded of the Giants game. They really couldn't move the ball against Baltimore either. So it's time for Stafford, to be honest with you, Nick, to take more of a leadership role of his own mistakes and make sure that he's accountable for his own mistakes, and also to make sure that he's a leader of the entire unit, because the Lions do have a lot of younger parts on offense this year, and they'll be looking for Stafford for some sort of leadership.
Okay, so I want to hit on one of those young pieces that you were talking about on the offense before we wrap it up. So what you're saying is, yes, it is a cause for concern for Stafford because it looks to be, same old stuff. But it just, Caldwell said he had made strides, but from what I've seen, and it is only the first practice, like I said.
They are learning the new offense, yeah.
It was very concerning to me because I was like, oh, man, here we go. Like, it just wasn't crisp. But anyway, I want to move to Theo Riddick.
Yeah.
He was very much involved. He was catching balls out of the backfield. He was running the ball. He was lining up a wide receiver, and he was a wide receiver at Notre Dame. It seems to be with Joe Lombardi in this offense, if you have speed and they can get you in space, then you're valuable. And I think he can be a big-time asset. Mikal LaShore, on the other hand, was not very involved. And there was a quote today from him saying he's going to play next year regardless of where it is. Or this year, sorry. He's going to play this year regardless of where it is. So
well, I don't think it'll be with the Lions.
I don't think so either. Just the way it looked, it didn't seem like he was part of the plan.
Just the final point on the Lions offense. If you watch the New Orleans Saints offense, it's all about spacing and getting people in space. You saw it when Reggie Bush was originally drafted, and the Lions have the athletes to implement that same sort of offense. It's all about assimilating the offense and making sure that they can use all of their weapons to their disposal, because the defense, we've touched on the deficiencies there. So it'll be imperative that the Lions utilize all the offensive weapons they've got.
Okay, so to go over it, good. The offense looked quick, crisp. They were always moving. Same thing with the defense. It didn't seem like they were ever taking a play. They were never walking. And even if they were starting another drill, if the Caldwell blew the whistle in the middle of the field, they switched it up. So, which I liked because they always seemed to keep it moving. It was always flowing. Bad Ebron dropping passes. Stafford not on point. And another good is Darius Slay. Looked like he's going to be able to hold his own. But it is only the first practice, so stand by on that. So stick with us. We'll be right back with some more 2-minute advantage, and then we'll get to those rants.
Okay. You want to do the segment about